but their work is far from other. As the fact-finding body continues to validate information and inspect projects, newly installed Special Advisor retired Police General Rodolfo Azurin Jr. says their goal is to ensure any possible cases will stand up to legal challenges. For this, Azurin is tapping experts and other agencies to verify information and ensure all necessary documents are collected. The former PNP chief took his oath of office at the ICI before Court of Appeals Associate Justice Pedro B. Corrales on Monday.
So ang gagawin na po natin ngayon is yung technical validation. So ito na po yung ito-document na po itong mga 421 na to kung totoo ba na talagang yung location and then yung supposedly na project yung kung magkano.
ICI Executive Director Attorney Brian Hosaka said the commission for now is focusing on flood control projects. So far, the ICI has flagged more than 400 suspected ghost projects out of 29,800 flood control projects. More than half of the non-existent projects are located in Luzon, 109 were flagged in the Visayas region, and 51 projects were identified in Mindanao. The ICI has not disclosed the total cost of these ghost projects.
Napakalawak at napakalaki po ng task na kailangan gawin at maimbestigan ng komisyon.
Another ICI member, former Public Works Secretary Babe Singson, reveals there has been a smoking gun in their hearings. On Karen Davelas' blog, Singson also said he has yet to see anyone who can qualify as state witness.
Has there been a smoking gun?
Meron na. So, ayaw lang namin ispook yung mga pwede namin habulin. Because the other remedy, as I mentioned, if we wait for the legal process, ang haba na. So there are administrative remedies. No? Ito yung pinag-uusapan namin with AMLA, with the BIR, with Bureau of Customs. No, they are not the least guilty. They are not. They are principal players. Nakinabang na yung mga yan.
The ICI will hold another hearing on Tuesday, October 14, and one of the invited resource persons is resigned party-list lawmaker Zaldi Ko. Hosaka says if Ko, who is still out of the country, fails to attend the hearing, the commission could ask the court for a contempt order and possible warrant of arrest against the former Ako Bicol party-list congressman.
That's a process because, as I mentioned before, there's no contempt powers by the ICI. So the process there is pupunta kami sa korte.
Last week, the ICI issued a subpoena duces tecum against Ko and an invitation to former House Speaker and late Congressman Martin Romualdez. Meanwhile, the presidential palace says President Marcos Jr. is open to suggestions on how to recover stolen public funds with anomalies in flood control projects. Communications Undersecretary Claire Castro gave this response when asked if the president would entertain proposals to reduce the sentence of those found to be guilty in exchange for returning pilfered funds.
Meron naman po din kapangyarihan ng Pangulo, yung tinatawag natin executive clemency through a commutation of sentence, at meron din po tayo tinatawag na conditional pardon na dapat ay yung mga requirements ay natupad.
Johnson Manabat, ABS-CBN News.
An ultimatum laid down by the Philippine Justice Department for protected witnesses to reveal everything they know about flood control corruption. It says appropriate cases will be filed if the testimonies are found to be unsatisfactory. Adrian Ayalin has tonight's top story.
The Department of Justice said it will file appropriate complaints before the Office of the Ombudsman on the flood control mess with or without the supposed tell-all testimonies of protected witnesses such as the Diskaya couple. It has been a month since government contractors Curly and Sara Diskaya and Sally Santos, as well as former Department of Public Works and Highways officials Roberto Bernardo, Henry Alcantara, Bryce Hernandez, and JP Mendoza have been going in and out of the DOJ. The contractors and the former engineers have been declared protected witnesses, but are still seeking to become full-fledged state witnesses under the Witness Protection Program of the DOJ. DOJ Officer in Charge Frederick Vida noted the public clamor to hold individuals accountable for the multi-billion peso cost and graft-ridden flood control projects.
The timelines is already set. The people are impatient. If we don't find something satisfactory, we will file the appropriate cases, with or without the state witnesses. We will build the cases based on the evidence we have available to the other side.
VIDA also noted that the DOJ has a memorandum of agreement with the Office of the Ombudsman signed by former Secretary Laila De Lima and former Ombudsman Conchita Carpio Morales to facilitate the filing of cases against public officials. VIDA also assured that the DOJ is in constant coordination with the Independent Commission for Infrastructure, which is also conducting a probe on the flood control mess.
In the coming weeks, we will be filing together in coordination with the Ombudsman and the ICI, we will be filing the appropriate cases. At the end of the day, we should follow the rule of law as well.
With growing discontent from various sectors, including the Sunday protest outside Makati City villages, VIDA appealed to the public to let the rule of law prevail.
Nananawagan ako sa lahat ng mga kababayan. Hindi lang ko palamuti dapat yung phrase na rule of law. Diba? Napakalaking bagay po na hayaan po natin na bawat institusyon ay gumanap at gumana. Kasi pag short ng kita, dahil tayo nagkakaproblema eh.
Prosecutor General Richard Anthony Paduliot also emphasized that the National Bureau of Investigation and the Philippine National Police are also conducting their own investigations.
Hindi naman po tayo umaasa lamang doon sa mga salaysay na isinusumiti sa atin. Nangangalap din po ang ating NBI, ating pulisan, ng ebidensya independent of the statements.
With the investigations being done by the NBI and the PNP, Paduliot also stressed that the DOJ is not limited to the testimonies of the Discayas and the other individuals aspiring to become state witnesses.
Hindi po kailangan na hintayin hanggang sila po ay handang magbigay ng kanilang salaysay o yung sinasabi ng kanilang abogado na they will tell all. Malalaman lang po natin yan kapag nandiyan na po sa harap kung nag-iimbestiga at i-evaluate din po natin, titingnan natin kung ito po ay sapat na, no, para sila ay may considerang state witness.
Adrian Ayali, ABS-CBN News.
Philippine Ombudsman Jesus Crispin Remulla will personally review allegedly anomalous public works projects in the Cordillera Administrative Region. Remulla says he will coordinate with Baguio City Mayor Benjamin Magalong, who supposedly has evidence of these irregularities. Magalong earlier bared allegedly overpriced rock netting projects in the region, as well as the questionable purchase of solar lights and roller barrier systems.
I intend to see Mayor Magalong to look at this evidence of rock netting, the projects in the Cordilleras. Mahalaga kasing maano natin lahat yan, makita natin lahat yan, yung universe of crimes that may have happened. Hindi lang flood control yan, marami hong naging racket na dapat tingnan natin. And I intend to be hands-on in these things.
Remulla is reluctant to accept a recommendation by Senator Rodante Marcoleta for blanket immunity to be given to the Discaya contractors in exchange for their cooperation in revealing more details of alleged public works kickbacks. The Ombudsman says this might be a disservice to Filipinos who are demanding accountability in the flood control corruption scandal. The acting chief of the Philippine